Hello, hi, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, please do subscribe down below. My name is Adeola and I upload videos about Africa, the black community and growing as a whole. So if you're interested in videos on those topics, please do subscribe down below and join our community. Today's video is going to be another facts about an African countries video, and today we're going to be looking at Guinea. So before I dive into this country has a special place in my heart. I visited it back in 2019 and I have a whole blog about it. I even have some like horror stories, some story times. So I did have those story times. I thoroughly did enjoy the country. It's one of those countries in Africa that just doesn't get the day of light. Like, nobody really talks about it, but it has such an interesting history, such an interesting culture, which I'm not really going to dive into too much in this video. So I do advise you, please go read my ultimate guide about this country, and please do also go and read some of the blog posts I've written about this country on my website AdeolaSpeaks.com. They go into a lot more detail about like the history, why the country is how it is, how the country is, things like that. So if you're interested in knowing that, please do go to AdeolaSpeaks.com. Or if you're interested in coming along with us to some of the tours we are hosting, we have launched our See Africa tours. So if you're interested in coming along to Africa and seeing the continent and the beauty, come along sis, come with us, join us. So you can go to AdeolaSpeaks.com/travel for more information about our tours, and you can also shop our collection. We have a plethora of handmade items in our shop, and we have a support program which works with Africans on the continent and gives them 40% of their profits back. And we also have an Ebon collection where these earrings are from, and the Ebon collection actually works with charities, and we give 25% of the profits made to charities. So we have different ways of supporting the continent. If you want to contribute, purchasing some of the products we sell, or you can even contribute by coming onto our tours, or you can share, like this video, subscribe, share it for more people to see. All those different ways. There are different ways to contribute. If you like what we're doing, help us by contributing in some way. So I babbled on for too long. Now let's get into Guinea. So Guinea is a West African country that neighbors Cote d'Ivoire, Mali, Guinea-Bissau, Senegal, Sierra Leone and Liberia. The country's capital is actually Conakry, and the Guinean franc is the local currency. So Guinea is actually home to Grand Conakry Mosque, and the Grand Conakry Mosque is actually the largest mosque in sub-Saharan Africa and the 4th largest mosque in the whole of Africa. Islam is the country's predominant religion. Football is the country's national sport. The country is very diverse and has over 24 different ethnic groups with over 40 languages spoken in the country, but French is still the official language. So Cape Verde is home to the country's best beaches. This is located on the northwestern side of the country. So Conakry is actually one of the top 10 least visited countries in the world, and I think this is why I push so hard for this country, because I love it. I know firsthand by going there that people were surprised when I was just like, yeah, I'm just a tourist. Like, people were genuinely like, why would you come here? And it's so sad that the people don't even see their own beauty in their country, because I thought the country was very beautiful, and the country has such a unique history, which we'll get into a little bit later, but you can read more about on my website. But it's just so, it almost felt like I had the country to myself. So I have a bit of a conflict, because on the one hand, I want people to go and see what I saw and see how charming and how beautiful the country is. It honestly feels like a small town. But on the other hand, I kind of want it for myself, and I don't really want people to be going there and be doing tourist. So I don't know. Either way, I'm still going to push for it, because so the Fonta Highlands in the middle of the country is the source of some of Africa's major rivers, some of them being the Gambia River, the Senegal River, and also the Niger River. And these three rivers that I mentioned actually flow through 7 different countries and also are providing over 2 million people water sources. Fun fact, the country actually is home to 22 different rivers. The country actually has the world's largest aluminium reservoir, and this actually makes up 27% of the whole world's aluminium supply, and it makes up of over 50% of Guinea's exports being aluminium, so much so that 17% of their GDP actually comes from aluminium exports. The country is also very rich and home to many other different natural resources such as gold, silver, iron, and many more minerals. Mount Richmond Mollard, which is part of Mount Nimba, is actually the highest point in the country, which is over 1,752 meters above sea level. Guinean baboon is actually Guinea's national animal. Guinea is actually one of the rainiest countries in the world, which is odd because maybe I went during dry season because I never experienced any of that rain, but I certainly don't want to because the country is recorded to have over 400 centimeters of rainfall a year. I don't want to be there when that happens. So Guinea is actually the oldest and one of the only Francophone countries to actually gain its independence from France. So Guinea has a very interesting history from France, which is very different to their other Francophone counterparts. Guinea in the 1950s demanded their independence from France and had to fight for it, and the French basically offered Guineans semi-autonomy, which they refused. So Guinea actually refused to sign the Franc-Afrique relationship deal, which I'm going to read here. And this deal basically meant that France would collect money from them for being part of the French colony in exchange for bringing value to the country. The caucasity of it all, the caucasity. So when the Guineans refused, French actually destroyed everything that they had deemed to have brought to the country. So schools, hospitals, all of that was burnt down in spite of the country wanting to leave and become its own independent country. So France actually left the country in ruins, which is very interesting because there are still certain areas that you can go to in the country and you can see the remnants of this where the government haven't really rebuilt it, or the government have left it there, maybe for historic purposes, I don't know, but it more seems like no one really wants to look after the half burnt down, half destroyed, derelict buildings. So then I don't think they're culturally preserved well, but there are certain areas in Conakry especially where you can see the remnants of this. So the first president, in reaction to what the French did, Mr. Sékou Touré, famously said that we prefer freedom in poverty than opulence in slavery, as a response to the French. So over 3,000 French workers left, burning and destroying everything that the French deemed to have brought to the country, leaving the country effectively in tatters, leaving it in ruins. More people are realizing the detriments of the French and how every other Francophone country didn't fully reach full autonomy like Guinea, and they're realizing that these countries are actually still to this day paying a colonial tax. I think it was in 2020 that the French government said that they will stop this colonial tax, but we are yet to see that end. So I go into a bit more detail in my blog, so if you do want to read, you can read about it in the 5 cool places to visit in Conakry. So Guinea is actually home to the balafon, and the balafon is a wooden xylophone, with the first one saying to be made in Nyagassola, and it was called the Sosobala. Over 60% of the country is actually woodland or forestry. Of that 60%, 36% of it is protected land, and that includes 3 national parks: Mount Nimba, Zamai Massif, and other national reserves as well. The Centre des Arts Acrobatiques Catafodeba in Conakry is actually the birthplace of so many different world-renowned African acrobats and contortionists. So the Talbotella cheki, which is a rare fauna species, a rare plant species, was actually found in Guinea in 2017. So thank you for watching my video. I hope you learned some interesting facts about Guinea. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, all that good stuff, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.